answer of two questions, which are political and economic reforms that contributed towards the modernization of Japan. Second question is characteristics of the Meiji political system. Answer is the guiding principles of the Meiji political system, which carried the necessary changes to build a modern nation state, were based on the slogan "Rich country, strong country." This slogan gave an idea about the thought of Meiji oligarchy. They wanted to preserve the identity and strength of Japan in front of Western powers, treat by molding it in a wealthy and prosperous nation. They also wanted a strong army force for Japan. In order to achieve these goals, they carried out a process of centralization of power. The emperor. In Japanese tradition, the emperor had a religious significance. In Meiji period, the emperor was the key figure of the political system, but could not exercise power for personal use. In fact, we can say that the emperor was the source of power. Thus, often historians describe the Meiji period as emperor system absolutism. Although during Tokugawa period the emperor was powerless, yet he was the central figure in Japanese culture. The Meiji leaders presented the emperor as the axis of nation with a divine image. From 1878 to 85, the emperor designed 6 great circuits of the nation, providing information about his offers to direct imperial rule, and thus dismissed the myth about monarchical government. The Meiji leaders used the image of emperor for the political ends and at the same time involved him in several circuits very cautiously. In expressive phrases, the emperor was regarded as above the politics. Mori Arnori described the emperor in his words, "Peerless capital, the greatest possible treasure in the enterprise of fostering loyalty and patriotism." According to Goto Yasushi, the development of emperor system was divided into 3 periods: 1868 to 1884, the formation of the basic features of the system; 1885 to 1895, the implementation or fill-up employ of the system; 1895 to 1905, the restructuring of the system. The bureaucracy and the military were the strength of the system. Bureaucracy. By the period of 1872, the new government had formed its bureaucratic structure, in which 15 categories of bureaucrats were created in hierarchical order. These were broadly divided into 3 main groups. First 2 were direct imperial appointee and were treated differently even under law. People from the various social classes were allowed to become bureaucrats according to the policy of recruitment. A very small percentage of noble and samurai were allowed to become bureaucrats, which signified the power of the officials on the basis of their talent, not because of their birth. The military and the bureaucrats were answerable to the emperor. The establishment of political institutions and political activities were not permeable as a legitimate right. They were assumed to be responsible for creating division among people for their selfish interest. The Meiji emperor died in 1912 and his region recognized as the transition from the closed isolated country to a modern nation power. The constitutional structure and the parliament got able to assert some authority over the ruling oligarchy. Though hesitatingly, all the main institutions and ministries worked under the emperor, the army became the dominant force by 1930s.